Alright guys and gals, welcome to round 2, game 6 of the Tiny Wars Open Tournament. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And we have Icy on blue versus Rush FTK on red. So, you've seen it correctly. Both of these players have agreed to not play with COs, so it is going to be a game of, how do I say it? It's like, I guess this game is going to show who really is the better player. These two are like very high level standard players, so I don't expect this to be a disappointing match. It's just going to be all about who's the better player here.
Yes, the test of pure skill.
The test of...
You don't see a lot of no CO matchups.
Absolutely not.
A certain specific fun game mode. But
hint.
Yeah, but yeah. So it was kind of interesting talking to them about their bands.
You were the one that had to talk to them about the bands.
Yeah, I was as part of the tournament organization team, which is just us two.
Just us two. But recently it's been more you, and I feel bad because.
Nah, it's good.
Yeah, because like I'm the one that presented the idea, and I asked you if you could help it, and I guess we just have our own roles right now. You get the players together, and I edit the content.
Yeah. So I asked them, what are their bands, and they were like, well, we agreed on the side that we just want to play a no CO matchup. So that's what happened. So enjoy, this test of pure skill.
Test of pure skill. Yeah, like we mentioned, top level players. Oh, base skip for a tank from Icy here, and the tank is on their one base side. Rush, on the other hand, is already capturing 2 properties in the center compared to Icy's 1, although Icy is player 1. Icy is going to get that property first, but the next turn, Rush is going to be the first to get 2 properties. So right now it's starting to look very even-Steven here. Oh, I was just about to say, why didn't they board the CO, but there's no CO to board.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that too. Yeah, no COs again. So we've said that only like 5 times already. It looks like, let's see, Icy is probably is definitely getting that radar. I don't think Rush will be able to get the radar on his side though. So what does that mean for us? I feel like that recon is a little bit late. It might be a little bit wasted. At least in the times that I've played this, I usually build the recon on either the weaker, usually on the weaker side, so that it has all those roads, those nice roads to control the center. But that is not what Rush did here. I feel like that recon isn't gonna be doing a lot.
Maybe there's only one bike to target it. But I will say, it looks like we might start seeing action on the left side of the map here. Well, it's just going to be a scramble on both sides, so like the middle and the right side. So if a fight were to break out on the left side of the map, Rush has more bases, but Icy has less terrain to go through to reinforce. So who's really winning on that front if a fight breaks out there?
On the left side, you say?
On the left side. Oh, well, nope. Looks like units are beginning to pour out towards the middle. And that battlecopter, no anti-air from Rush. I believe Rush last turn decided to build their own battlecopter. So looks like probably each of the players are going to have a nicely fed copter for maybe a turn or 2.
Yeah, it's not looking very good for Rush, actually. He doesn't have a lot of these forward properties that he should. He doesn't have that recon, that radar. He doesn't have the middle radar. At least it's not a guaranteed cap. Whereas for Icy, it is a guaranteed cap in the middle. Already has both radars on the sides. I don't think it's like gonna be too good for him. Doesn't have the anti-air coverage on the left. And while Icy doesn't on the right, like super quickly, I think they got it a little bit earlier, relatively, and so they were able to compensate for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all those spikes are covered by Icy there, and yeah, that recon didn't really get to do a whole lot. Already shot down by the copter. 2 tanks kind of pulled back there. If there were any unit trapping, I'm sorry, CJ. If there were any unit trapping for that copter, there are 2 tanks back there to prevent that and let that copter fly free. Wait, I don't think that anti-air is... It's not in range. That one split second, it wasn't in range, so that copter is going to get away scot-free, dealing like 7 damage to a recon. Let's see where it ends up going. It's probably gonna pull back because there is a anti-air on the bottom and a copter on the right. It can't go left. Only way out is north with the rest of the army.
I'm a little bit surprised that Icy didn't go for the, like, I guess the delay of the radar capture, but I guess since they wouldn't be able to fully delay it, it's probably fine. Know that it's not going to really stop them, so.
Maybe they're comfortable in their position.
That's true. Yeah, they are up by 1, I think, based on the radar on the side. Yeah, the radar's on the side.
Up by 2, actually.
Or 2, yeah. But 1 property still gonna be.
Yes.
But yeah, up by 2. Icy is quite aggressive on the right side. And Rush doesn't have a lot over there and is not able to aggress in the same way.
Whoa.
I don't know what that is about. That might be a miscalculation.
Oh.
So, I mean, when one B-copter is already in range of the AA, you might as well throw out more because, you know, the AA can only attack 1 at a time.
They can't stop all of us.
Yeah, it's...
They can get one of us, but not all of us.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a formal name for it, but I would probably just call it by the term that is used in chess, which is overloading.
Yeah, I was just about to say overloading. I never played chess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good term. So just a reminder, if you don't see any CO units, that is because there are none.
They don't exist.
Just an FYI.
Yeah, there's no threat of action of just like feeding your enemy charge.
Nothing at all.
So, in some respects, you can be a little bit reckless, but yeah. Okay, so
Rush is gonna have to go for one of the radars. I would maybe. I take that back. That tank moved down. I was like, I would maybe try to go for that bottom radar there. I might need a tank to block it, but they're probably going to lose that tank, so I don't know if it's worth it to them or not. And I remember there was a conversation about like anti-airs are like so tanky in Days of Ruin.
Yeah, no, you never. The only time you want to hit an AA with a B-copter is if your B-copter has full health and that. I guess, and that AA has like literally
2 HP or chip damage, or maybe it was possibly chip damage, but yeah, you're not gonna kill an AA in Days of Ruin with a copter.
Except for that, but yeah, only when it's like super low. But yeah, because even a 4 HP AA can still be effective, which is like kind of bonkers. But I think overall, Icy just has generally better trades.
Yeah.
And has already had the income advantage for some time now.
Those 2 tanks do not want to stick around. Yeah, and that battlecopter might have been in range too. Real quickly. Yeah, if I was maybe thinking, Rush put a tank on here. But the first tank and that copter would kill that tank, but I don't know if Icy would have had anything to interrupt the capture. But maybe Rush like still wants to hold on to that tank. that's like their only tank on the front line on that 2-base side there. Speaking of tanks, the Rush's tanks are heavily crippled on their 1-base side and would probably need to pull them back. I doubt they want to stick around, CJ.
Yeah, no. I think that is permission for Icy. Actually, Icy doesn't actually need to push in that much. Since they do already have that Raider, they're generally probably not going to get those cities, at least not immediately. So they don't need to, like, jump in too quickly. Although it might be good, because because Icy does have more tanks coming up. Actually, so does Rush. They're all around. It's not quite easy to decide what would be the best moves here, but okay. Seeing Icy advance again has a lot of AA coverage.
I was gonna say, even though Icy does have the income lead, I can definitely see the benefit of pushing in on the right side right now. I just noticed there's no single artillery from Rush here, so the units are like kind of exposed, and you just saw that tank that was by the radar from Icy there. There's an artillery behind it. Rush would not want to attack that tank because that artillery coverage, it was right there. So let's see. Nothing for the anti-airs at this moment for Rush there. So those anti-air kind of look like they're gonna have a field day.
Yeah, they're gonna get both copters, I think. Multiple, two copters just there. They're free real estate, kind of.
Free real estate, oh my gosh.
And that is a lot of value. Those are trades that are happening on Rush's weak side. So again, Rush is threatening the cap on the left, though. Can be interrupted again, although it's questionable whether or not you exactly want to trade there. But it is still viable. Got a vet AA. That's cool. Those AAs just getting tons of damage. And a lot of blocking, so those AAs are not necessarily vulnerable to attacks. Even if that tank comes in and hits an AA, it'll get countered by 2 more tanks. So that battlecopter, I think you would expect it to just die. There are too many AAs around. You can't really get any use.
Looks like they're even on income.
They are for this turn. I don't think that's going to stay for long. I still think that Icy has a lot of advantage in the space that they've been taking up. This bike in the center can go for the radar. Icy has generally just been getting a lot of really good trades.
It's not every day you see an airport repair.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it.
I think it's gonna die though.
Yeah, I think there's just too many AAs. It's not gonna get a lot of benefit.
Too many AAs, too many tanks to, use to fight. Anti-airs are also decent wall breakers as well, because they deal so much damage to foot soldiers. So yeah, a wall, you just have one AA to break the wall, and then you got the second AA to start killing the copter. But Icy showing a lot of patience, holding back and just threatening multiple properties and keeping the army together to punish anything trying to interrupt it. And it's just like, yeah, you can repair your copter. We're gonna let it live, but we'll gladly take these cities from you, Icy says.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Icy didn't take the right side radar, because that was available for him. But I guess he was seeing that there are these attacks, and so wanted to keep that bike nearby to kind of block before advancing, but still, I guess that was an alright move.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would have just said, "Ooh, free radar," and just went for that.
Rush making a push on the their 2-base side, is starting to lighten up Rush's chances. They're both kind of in the middle part of the map, but there's a lot of counterplay that Icy has. Yeah, tank dead. Exposes an anti-air. Nope, exposes the recon. Oh no, that tank from the base. Yeah. And now there's like 2.5 tanks, half of an artillery up big that. I'm sorry, it was 2 tanks because like 2 of them are half, and now it's like theoretically 3 tanks. Rush has tanks that are reinforcing. There's an artillery just sitting there that's just like whamming on units. I wonder if Rush could maybe go for that copter kill with that AA. But as we see on the right side, there's just like a slightly slower push coming from Icy, and they're probably gonna spill out in the middle rather than go straight for the HQ side.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that was gonna happen. Oh, and just gets that extra hit on that the artillery, but that tank that just attacked the Icy's tank is in reinforcement range. Oh, I actually kind of like seeing what Rush is doing here, capturing properties, forcing at least 1 unit to attack less valuable targets. Like maybe the artillery would like to deal some chip damage to, say, that tank, or maybe those tanks would like to maybe hit those anti-airs. But yeah, you get the idea. Just like putting your opponent in situations where they wish not to be. But in this case, that anti-air has nothing better to attack, so it's going to comfortably interrupt that capture. And those few units that are starting to spill out in the center from Icy side are beginning to overwhelm Rush here. So close to the base and so close to the airport, Rush is. And just holding back because they're sitting comfortably on their undoubtedly income lead. Why can't I click?
Big income lead.
Why can't I click? 8 income lead. 23 to 15 in favor of Icy here. So Rush is fighting underwater. I'm like they could, throw hands on someone, but they can't do it forever because they're running out of breath. They're drowning in all that income deficit, and rightfully, Rush resigns. So I guess we could say that this was a true test of skill between both of the players, each of them not having a CO. I thought it wouldn't be as exciting, but seeing high-level play, it actually was a fairly entertaining game.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like Rush definitely had a chance to try to fight back here, but there's just more than enough units to deal with those capturing units. Having a little bit of control of the center here. First thing I want to point out near the very beginning is that when Icy builds a battlecopter, Rush's response was to build his own battlecopter instead of an anti-air here. Although that still does kind of put him in a situation where an anti-air down here would make this copter fly towards the center or fly to the 2-base side of Icy. But the difference between the copters between Rush and Icy is that, as you can see, Icy immediately builds an anti-air. Meanwhile, on Rush's side, Icy's copter is already off the airport and an anti-air wasn't built. All that money went into that copter.
Yeah, I feel like Rush was at a disadvantage for quite a long time. Do I not have mouse control?
Oh shoot, my bad. Yeah, mouse control.
Yeah, I feel like Rush was at a disadvantage for a long time And I feel like it might have been because of the recon. I'm trying to think about their income, but like Rush just doesn't have nearly the amount of caps that Icy did. Like Icy was able to go for this radar, whereas Rush was not, and that ultimately kind of stayed as like an income gap for basically the entire game. And the game was going for what, like how many turns?
Let me see. Let me check.
I think it went to 17 turns or something. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, 17.
About 17 turns. 17, 18 turns. Yeah.
So like 20k income. That's a couple tanks. That's 2 battlecopters, something like that, right? That is a distinct advantage over time. And also, like, Icy just had, really good trades. I think another setback was maybe the recon. I feel like I generally like the recon, again, more on the right side, just because it gets to the middle really fast, and you can kind of pressure your opponent off of these radars.
That is one less unit that can capture properties, however, if Rush did go for the one base recon.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see, like, why was it that it seems like Icy was just so much faster?
Other than the fact that they're player 1.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think Icy was able to get this radar, which typically you don't go for.
Maybe it was the 2 properties at the bottom of Rush.
Center.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could have been true because he didn't have that pressure.
That's one less unit going towards the 2 base side, and 1 extra unit that's going for that safer center property.
Right. Yeah, because both of these bikes down here went to the left, whereas sometimes you might expect this one to go up, this one to go up, something like that.
But looking at this, I can maybe see a recon being able to harass all of those bikes up there. But Icy could maybe build a tank on that side or fly the copter to the other side. So yeah, it's Rush definitely would have needed to find a counter to Icy's counter to their play, like a counter chain, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah, it's hard to say because an AA I guess will make it in time. Let's see. Like if you built B-Copter here, and then on Rush's turn builds an AA, B-Copter comes down but isn't able to hit anything. The AA comes around, and so this left side is not covered, but this right side, a little right part is covered. So you force the battlecopter to the right. It becomes kind of annoying towards the center, but that's a little bit easier to deal with because you get your battlecopter 2 turns after 2, and that can come towards the center quicker than an AA can.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to break down this match to like see what really went wrong here. We're actually kind of trying to figure it out. It's like very, very minor things that would have shifted the favor in either of these players. It's like they are higher level players after all, so us novices, I guess, are trying to see what small things led the outcome of this match. I do think building a copter a turn after Icy built a copter was not the most favorable thing, because Icy immediately responded with an anti-air. Rush waited about 2 turns to get an anti-air or something for the Icy's copter here, and I think that was just like 1 turn enough for Icy's copter to get in some damage. And I think we saw earlier, like, heavily damage the recon. Yeah, like it was like 1 turn, and then the anti-air is built, but that's already one turn. Anti-air is not covering any of these units. Copter is getting a free hit, and they could just fly away over the heavy terrain where the anti-air can't reach. Meanwhile, I believe this would be Icy's turn. Icy would get an anti-air here, and it could cover pretty much this whole area, like behind the mountains and next to the mountains. And if Icy kept all those units in anti-air range, this copter has nothing it would like to hit. Maybe the middle, but yeah. It's just a matter of battlecopter response, I think, was a slight favor for Icy rather than Rush.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, just those early center caps, because even though Rush had those center caps, he wasn't able to get, like, the radar really quick either.
And let's also not forget to mention that those are, like, probably the safest center properties on this map.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, it's just very small things with these two high-level players that's resulted in the game. Like you could see how tricky it was to like even try to like figure out what could have been done differently to perhaps change the result of this game.
Yeah, I mean this map in particular is quite hard because like small mistakes definitely build up pretty quickly.
Definitely.
Trading at the wrong times or choosing the wrong captures could just lead to your opponent getting an advantage that it's hard to kind of what's it called, come back from.
Yeah, I would say Icy had the better early game here. Rush, I would have Rush probably built the wrong units to try to do his own thing, and because of that, like I said earlier, immediate anti-air from Icy. For Rush, anti-air a turn after the copter was built. That's all I could really pull from this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. But still, overall, I would say well played from both of these players. Rush definitely gave himself a chance, as you can see. Like, well, didn't get that city, but at least split the forces. But there's no CO zone to like try to overwhelm one side with. But yeah, I would say Rush at least did give themselves a very strong fighting chance here. But unfortunately, it was just so close to reinforcement range of Icy there. Icy had the army in the middle of the map at the point where these reinforcements would not have mattered as much as we saw on the other side. Alright, anything else to add, CJ?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, just overall, small mistakes build up. It's hard. This game's hard.
This game is hard, yeah. We're like standard novices. But alright, Icy moves on to round 3 of the Tiny Wars Open Tournament. Thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe to keep up to date with all the games that will be released weekly. We are covering all the games on the tournament. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And you all have our warmest regards. Please take care.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao, ciao.